Great Solar Flare 2024. Understand what the dangers are. Earth will be bombarded by intense solar storms next year. Scientists predict we will reach solar maximum in 2024, with explosions strong enough to paralyze the global internet for weeks. What is a solar flare? And what are the consequences for our planet and humanity? Follow me in this video and I'll explain it to you. Solar explosions, or flares, are sudden explosions on the surface of the sun. These explosions release high levels of radiation and particles at high speeds that were stored in magnetic field lines. Magnetic field lines form a shadow on the sun's photosphere, which are sunspots. The radiation released by solar flares covers a wide range of them. Electromagnetic spectrum, from radio waves to X-rays and gamma rays. The sun has a cycle of activity related to changes in the magnetic field lines, caused by its rotational movement. Since the sun is not a rigid body, the rotation speed is different at each latitude, an effect called differential rotation. This difference causes magnetic field lines to stretch and break, releasing matter and energy into space and reversing the sun's global magnetic poles. The period of solar activity is approximately 11 years. What are its effects? Risks in humans. Solar flares in more extreme cases can increase radiation levels and pose health risks to humans. Due to the natural shielding of the Earth's atmosphere, people living on the planet are less likely to be affected by radiation, as the atmosphere filters out much of this radiation. Unfortunately, astronauts are not as protected, so they are more affected by solar radiation. In most cases, the radiation doses are not powerful enough to affect your health, but NASA monitors all dangerous situations. Material damage. First of all, satellites are the equipment that works but is affected by these solar flares and becomes exposed. And this can have a strong and negative impact on radio and internet communications on Earth. Also in navigation systems and electrical networks on Earth. There are many people saying that an apocalypse will happen on the internet, and that there will even be plane crashes. Will this be possible? The truth is that cell phone, internet and GPS communications may be affected in various places, depending on the level of damage caused by these explosions. But it will not be the end of the world, and the plane crash is the greatest of myths. First of all, it is necessary to remember that this is not the first time that these events happen. Every 11 years these events are repeated, and although today we are more dependent on technology, and it is true that there may be economic losses, there is not the slightest probability that an air accident will occur. The planes are equipped with digital systems, and also have mechanical equipment. Pilots are trained to maintain their flight path smoothly if digital navigation fails, and communication with the control towers is carried out through VHF, UHF, HF, which are various communication systems at different frequencies that do not depend on satellites. And due to the height at which they fly, communication is direct between the plane and the towers. 99% of airline accidents occur due to human error, and not failures in aircraft systems. The solar flare, associated with the coronal mass ejection, that caused the most damage to Earth was recorded in 1859 and became known as the Carrington effect, after the astronomer who observed the event. The amount of particles released was so large that auroras formed, phenomena that only occur in the polar regions of the Earth. In countries like Cuba, electrical equipment such as batteries, electrical wiring and other instruments were affected by electrical discharges, causing short circuits and explosions. Another solar storm that occurred in 1967 was responsible for the malfunction of surveillance radars in the United States. Before knowing the real reason for the problem, The US military suspected a Russian military attack and almost carried out an attack that could have started a Third World War. In March 1989, a large solar storm occurred, accompanied by solar flares. The phenomena were detected by astronomers and immediately followed by records of radio interference throughout Europe. A few days later, the particles released by the storm reached Earth, causing a disturbance in its magnetic field and generating electrical discharges. In the North American region, these riots knocked out all power in Quebec, Canada in less than 2 minutes. The blackout lasted around 12 hours and affected the operation of schools and services. In 2006, a Class X solar flare saturated a large portion of Earth's GPS satellites.